Hello, I'm Charlie from Seek Marketing. We were approached by the Italian Embassy here in London to provide some insight and practical tools for businesses across Italy to help them generate more revenue when targeting the UK customer. In this video, I'm going to provide some insight into key areas around your website and search engine optimization, which I will refer to throughout the video as SEO. Let's get into it. First, your website. The place where customers can come to find out information about your products and your service, and crucially, where they can buy your product. Your website is the online window into your business, and there's a long list of ways for you to make sure your website is best in class to drive revenue online. Today, I'll be touching on some of the areas that are key to optimize for the UK customer, and also what the best e-commerce platform could be for your business, especially if you're new starting out on your e-commerce journey. So, what is the best e-commerce platform for you to use for your business and why? We're going to be focusing specifically on a platform which happens to be the fastest growing e-commerce platform in Europe, Shopify. With over 1 million users, Shopify is straightforward to use and has 24/7 global customer service available for you, the business. The main reasons our clients love Shopify is due to its clean modern interface and data that is easy to find and actionable. Most of the time, it's going to probably be a lower cost than other service providers. It also has built-in security and updates, so you're not going to have a developer on hand to maintain the site. Lastly, Shopify is extremely scalable. Huge companies such as Gymshark and Tesla use the Shopify platform, and they're definitely not slowing down on their growth. So for yourself as a business, scalability will not be an issue. Shopify allows users to build an online store, in some cases without any help from a developer. So there's actually no need for coding or design skills. However, if you are familiar with HTML or CSS, the platform does provide access to both. Another huge benefit of running your store on Shopify is that it's extremely familiar to the UK customer. There's an extremely high chance that your customers that you're targeting would have purchased an item with a Shopify website in the past. This means that this checkout process will feel familiar, and increasing this feeling of familiarity will increase your conversion rate, which is the percentage of how many people purchase when visiting your website. Customers trust websites that feel familiar. And if you've got a website that feels a bit different or doesn't feel trustworthy, they're less likely to purchase from you. The ability to display prices in multiple currencies is also a key feature for companies who wish to trade internationally and here in the UK. Displaying prices and facilitating checkout in the local currency will also considerably improve your conversion rates. Unlike several other e-commerce solutions, Shopify does let you do this via a built-in payment gateway called Shopify Payments. One of the challenges of setting up online is that you can end up making sales in a variety of different territories with different tax laws, and it's definitely going to be something that you need to reflect in the pricing of your products. This is particularly relevant for businesses in the EU, especially if you're shipping outside of the EU. So I would recommend that you seek advice from specialists and research the information online about the specific shipping information for each country you're shipping to, as the rules can differ from each country to country and from territory to territory. So let's get into the details of what actually makes a good website for UK customers. First, a really clear overall purpose with a well-defined audience will make it much clearer for you as a business and for the user. Your priority when creating a website is to make it clear and easy for the target customer. Define what you want the website to actually achieve, and then reflect that with strong, clear messaging from the homepage all the way through to the checkout and beyond. Even the text on the website should specifically be written for the customer you're looking to target. So imagine yourself talking directly to that customer when designing the site with a true purpose for every page. The next step is looking at that purpose and how it will serve the overall goal. So do you need a recipe page to help customers who are buying ingredients? Do you need a size guide, maybe for products that need UK and EU sizing? Are your products grouped into categories so they're easy and clear to find? Easy, logical navigation essentially means a good website and a good user experience. It just makes life easy for users. Just remember, we don't want to make it too difficult for people when they're trying to go through the information on your website. Simple things like, are the links in the menu simple and clear and easy to read? So let's say you wrote a blog post and you featured one of your products. Link to it, make it easy so people don't have to search for what they need. Imagine yourself being a time-strapped buyer. You're on your website. Does the order of the products make sense? Can you use built-in functionality to search the website, which Shopify actually does provide? Keep it simple and you will drive more revenue. Next, let's talk about the visual appeal of the website. How does your website look and feel? Of course, it's extremely important to an online buyer and everyone has their opinions, but it's important to consider how your brand is represented when a customer first lands on your homepage. Which colors are you going to have as your background? How do they work with the pictures across the site? What fonts are you going to choose? I would even have real consideration into the color of the text to make sure that it doesn't clash with the color of the background. That's not good for search engines and clearly not good for your target customer. The number one rule when choosing design elements for your website is, does it help the customer experience? You want everything to help the customer. And if it doesn't help to understand the product or the service, it probably shouldn't be included. High resolution images that support your core message are extremely important. Customers in the UK really do expect the quality of the imagery to be there for the products that they're buying online. If the pictures of your products aren't clear or the imagery is poorly lit, you may find that the customers will buy elsewhere. So I'd recommend investing in professional product photography where possible, so these images can be used on social media, websites, and emails. The next rule is the use of calls to action. All great websites have a really strong call to action. So what is a call to action? In short, it's the button that says shop now or buy. You'd be surprised how many brands send emails that actually have website pages or emails that don't provide a clear route to purchase that product. So let's carry on making it easier for the customers where you can. You may feel that you want your website to deal with the bulk of the customer's needs on the website, but it is important to make it easy for them to get in touch if they do have a problem. The majority of websites here in the UK will have contact information in multiple areas. So definitely in the footer, the bottom of the website, I would recommend having a contact page or some contact information. Worst case scenario, have a contact form to fill out where a customer can contact you, but really it's best if you have multiple ways for them to contact your business. I wanted to talk you through a quick consideration around email addresses for customer service. Try to avoid email addresses that you list on your website from a standard Gmail or Hotmail account. Branded emails, so customer service at yourbrand.com, look more professional. You could also consider other contact methods such as a customer service phone number or live chat, but please make sure that they are manned phone numbers because you don't want someone calling a number that goes through to nothing. To avoid having to deal with so many queries from customers directly, you could consider adding a FAQ section or a frequently asked questions section on your website. Along with FAQ sections being expected by the UK customer, it can not only help reduce the number of customer queries, but it can also be really beneficial to your SEO, which I'm going to go into a bit more detail now. In this section, I want to take you through, in my opinion, probably the most important factor for an online store. How often do customers that search in platforms such as Google actually see your business? If your website doesn't show up in search engines, it's going to be really hard to grow your business online. SEO stands for Search Engine Optimization. As I mentioned previously, this is the process of improving your website with the goal to increase its visibility for relevant searches on platforms such as Google. The better your visibility of your website in the search results, the more likely you're going to attract new customers to your business. Search algorithms are designed to show the most relevant, trustworthy pages on the internet and crucially to provide users with the best experience. Optimizing your website with the following factors in mind can help you rank higher in search results. Search is often the primary resource for digital traffic for brands and works extremely well with other marketing channels working alongside SEO. Greater visibility and ranking higher in search results can have a direct impact on your revenue. Let's talk about some of the key elements that search engines look for when deciding which websites to show at the top of search results. It's worth noting that search engines usually favor things that customers will also appreciate. A great example of this is if the mobile version of the website is mobile friendly. So a good website needs to display well on all devices, mobiles, iPads, desktops. The next thing they're going to look at is fast load times. People do not have the time to wait around for a slow website. Web pages need to load quickly if your visitors are going to stay and potentially buy your products. One easy trick to make sure your website is fast and loads quickly for the user is to be careful around the size of the images that you upload. The larger the file size, typically the longer they will take to load. Moving on to another area that you will need to have a look at if you want to improve your SEO is a very specific thing which we call SSL certificates. This level of encryption or security is quite technical, but it's one of the most simple things you can fix, and it can really hurt your business severely if you don't have one. An SSL encryption certificate is actually purchased typically where you bought your original domain. As you can see on the screen at the top, we have an example of a website that does not have an SSL certificate. Here's an example of a website that does have an SSL certificate. If this is not implemented on your domain, you may get warnings on certain browsers for the user, and typically the UK customer does know how to look for a secure website over a slightly less trustworthy site, typically without an SSL certificate. Now I'm going to tell you something that search engines absolutely love, and it's pretty simple: useful and fresh content. Search engines love new, fresh, and exciting content. Stay active and post on your website as regularly as you can. The best way to do this is probably via a blog or maybe a news section. It can provide you a good area to update content and information around your products, especially if they change regularly. Another area of SEO that's good to have a look at, as you can see on screen now, is optimizing your URL, the titles and the descriptions. These are the things that actually show up on Google when people are searching for your brand or products. Most popular website e-commerce platforms will allow you to edit the URL, the title, and the descriptions of your products and services. Take this opportunity to think about what your customer would like to see in those areas. Try to avoid numbers and underscores and give clear, meaningful information. My last tip is one of the biggest elements of SEO, which can't be ignored. So you've followed all of the above steps, you're happy with the way the website looks, you've improved the content, it's nice and quick. You now need to start building trust with the search engines. So how do we do this? The best way is getting other websites on the internet that already exist to essentially link to your website. So let me repeat that. Let's get other websites around the internet to link to your website. I'm going to give you an easy place to start. The first one would be directories, forums. Consider other third-party blogs, digital publications, maybe magazines, and let's not forget social media. Just remember, you can have the most beautiful website in the world, but you won't get many visitors if no one can find it. That's where SEO comes in. So what is the best way to track and measure SEO performance? At the agency, we use a number of tools and products to do so, but two free tools I recommend that you look at are Google Analytics and Google Search Console. Google Analytics does integrate with other Google marketing products and advertising platforms. So you can integrate it with Google Ads, Google Search Console, Google Shopping, all of these different areas. Google Search Console is slightly different. It's a free service offered by Google that helps you to monitor, maintain, and troubleshoot your website's presence in the Google search results. You don't have to sign up for Google Search Console to be included in Google search results, but it does help you to understand how to improve views to your websites via Google. We've reached the end of this video where we've outlined and highlighted the importance of a website, the elements on a website, and SEO, which essentially helps you to be visible to more customers. Throughout the rest of the series, we'll be delving deeper and sharing advice on how your business can tailor its digital marketing and e-commerce strategy to attract, convert, and retain customers here in the UK and around the world. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.